Hello and welcome back. This is the second video in my 4-video lesson online training course, How to Move from Surviving to Thriving with your child, even during the times of crisis. Whether you're a parent who is looking for better ways of handling everyday behavior, such as talking back and following directions, or a parent who is struggling with more challenging behavior, such as child's anger outbursts or tantrums, and is looking for peace at home, you have come to the right place. I'm Albina Terpetska. As the founder of Inspire Family Relationship Coaching, a family relationship coach, an educator with a master's degree, and a neuro-linguistic programming licensed practitioner, I have been helping parents and children to create the parent-child relationship they deserve. In this video course, I'm teaching you what you need to know to create a fully connected parent-child relationship in which you don't have to get your child to listen, but in which you're so connected that your child wants to listen. In this video, I will teach you an easy-to-apply parenting success formula that I teach my private coaching clients. When used regularly, this formula will help you increase your awareness, emotional intelligence, and allow you to connect with your child in even the most stressful parenting situations. I will also teach you 6 most common mistakes that parents make in their parenting, and I will show you how those mistakes harm their relationships with their children. Knowing about those mistakes will help you identify those mistakes and avoid making those mistakes in your parent-child relationship. Now, before I begin teaching, I want to thank those of you who left comments and questions under my previous video and sent me all those wonderful emails. Thank you very much. I'm glad you found it helpful. Now, if you missed the first video lesson in this series, you definitely want to go back and watch it because I covered a lot in that video. I revealed the #1 mistake that parents make when seeking parenting advice, and I showed you how to avoid that mistake if you want to create the parent-child relationship you and your child deserve. I also showed you how you can improve your child's behavior with some very easy steps. I also disclosed the real reason why so many parents are struggling with their child's behavior, and one shift you can make today to stop your struggle. If you haven't seen that video, go and watch it right now. There is a link below this video lesson, so go ahead and watch #1 video lesson and then come back for this video lesson. Feeling like they have tried everything, many parents feel hopeless. They begin believing that there is something wrong with them or their child. Here is my answer. If you're not getting the results you want, there is nothing wrong with you or your child. All it means that what you're doing is not working. And there is no reason for you to beat yourself up or feel bad about it. All you need to do is to stop doing what is not working and begin doing what does work. In other words, to get different results, you need to take different actions. But how does it work, you might ask? And I'm glad you asked, because this is exactly what I'm going to teach you in my parenting success formula. All right, so you want to change the results that you're getting. We're going to put results right here. I'll just write R for results. In order to change your results, you need to change your action. Because think about it, when you yell at your child, it is going to give you a different result than talking to your child might give you. Now, what drives our actions? Our actions are driven by feelings. When you are feeling frustrated or angry, you're going to take a different action than when you're feeling calm and peaceful. Next, what affects our feelings? And that is a great question because our feelings are affected by our thoughts. Now, let's take a look at this. We are thinking a certain way, which causes us to feel a certain way. Our feelings affect the way we act, and our actions lead us to a certain result. When we get that result supports, reinforces our thoughts. So basically, we are always in a constant loop of thinking the same way, feeling the same way, acting the same way, and causing the same results. That's why what you're doing, if this is not working, your thoughts are not helpful, it's going to lead you to the results that you do not want, to undesired results. When you understand this formula, you can change the entire way you parent, and you can change how closely you connect with your child. To help you understand the parenting success formula better, I'm going to give you an example of my client Robert and his son Travis. Every time when Travis would have a meltdown, Robert would get frustrated and tell his son to stop right away. Robert did it because he saw his son's meltdowns as a sign of weakness. He was afraid that if Travis has meltdowns, he will grow up a weak person, somebody who cannot stand up for himself, who won't have friends, who people will make fun of, and who will be unhappy in his life. So let's plug in all this information in this formula. Robert thought that if my son doesn't know how to handle the meltdowns and continues having them, he will grow up a weak person. He won't be able to stand up for himself. People will take advantage of him and make fun of him, and that will cause emotional suffering for him. He will not be happy. So Robert was feeling very worried, very concerned about his son. He also thought that his son has to know how to stop his meltdowns. And because Travis didn't, Robert thought that Travis chose not to stop his meltdown, which caused Robert to feel angry and frustrated. Because of that anger and frustration, the action he took was to tell his son in a harsh way to stop it right now. And the result it led to was weakening of that connection between the parent and child, because the son learned that he could not trust his father. His father wasn't there to support him, and he had to be afraid of his father. And in front of his father, he had to hide his feelings, stop his feelings, and not show his feelings to his father. So that caused disconnection between the two of them. And that kind of action led to the result that Travis was getting even more worried, even more anxious, and even more stressed. So Travis would get into the state where it was even harder for them to help him to calm down, and he would continue having the meltdown. Of course, Robert, seeing that the son not being able to calm down and continue having a meltdown as a weakness, so he would continue thinking the same thoughts. Oh no, my son is weak. He cannot stop. He cannot help himself and stop those meltdowns. And again, Robert would feel worried, frustrated, and angry, and then he would take the same action. He would raise his voice. He would tell his son to stop, and he would get the same results. He would see his son to continue having those meltdowns. And again, he would continue thinking the same thought about his son. So now you see how important thoughts are in this formula. Because to be able to change the action, to change your result, you need to start to think differently. And this is what is very important to understand in this formula. There are two ways that you can change your thoughts. You can either learn how to use the information that you already have, but think differently using that information, or you need to get new information that will help you to begin to think differently, so you would feel differently. You will feel maybe more confident, or maybe more peaceful, or whatever the feeling is that helps you to take better actions so you would create better results. And once you create the better result, that will reinforce and become the reason for continuing thinking those positive, those helpful thoughts. And something that I really want you to understand about this formula, that it is not just about positive thinking. It's not about just pretending that there is no problem or ignoring the problem. No, it is looking at the problem, what is the problem, and figuring out what kind of thoughts I need to be thinking that will help me to feel different, to act different, and get the different result. That is a powerful difference. That is where the power of this formula lies. And that is what will help you to radically transform your parent-child relationship and create the parent-child relationship that you and your child deserve. Now let's go back to our example with Robert and Travis. When working with me, Robert was able to change his thoughts by using the information that he learned from me. He learned that when a child is having a meltdown, it is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of the child being overwhelmed and not knowing how to deal with those emotions. So once Robert understood that and learned from me how to help his son handle his difficult emotions, he was able to change his thoughts. And because he changed his thoughts, he felt more confident and peaceful. Because he felt more confident and more peaceful, he would come up, instead of telling his son to stop, he would come up to his son and be present with him and help him to process his emotions and to calm down. And as a result, Robert would get his son knowing how to handle his emotions and being able to stop his meltdowns. And Robert also would strengthen connection between him and his son. And seeing those results, Robert would think, oh, so I am a competent father. And my son knows how to handle his strong emotions and how to stop his meltdowns. And Robert would feel even more calm because of those thoughts. He would continue taking the actions that would help to strengthen the connection between him and his son even more. Now, I'm sure you would like to know what Robert learned from me and what he did to be able to help his son to handle his strong emotions. And I will teach you that, but not in this video, in the next video. In this video, I'm going to teach you the 6 mistakes that well-intended parents make when they are trying to help their children to handle their emotions. Knowing those mistakes will help you to think differently and identify those mistakes so you would avoid making them in your parenting and harming your parent-child relationship. So the first mistake that parents make when they are trying to help the child handle their strong emotions is the mistake that Robert made when he told his son Travis to stop it right away. Trust me, if the child could stop his emotions right away and feel better, the child would. Imagine that you just got fired, or you lost your business, or you found out that your pet passed away, or your car got stolen, and you're feeling sad, you begin crying, you're so upset, it bothers you, and somebody tells you, stop it right now. How would you feel? Yes, maybe you would be able to stop crying, but the feeling would still be there, unprocessed. Feelings don't just go away. Strong emotions need to be processed. They need proper attention. And in the next video, I will teach you how to give your emotions that proper attention. Mistake number 2. Big girls don't cry. Look, your little brother Dan is watching you. He's going to laugh at you. When parents say those things, they teach their children to be ashamed of their emotions. And all it leads to is the child learning to numb those emotions and hide those emotions from the parent, which causes weakening of the connection between the parent and the child, as well as it might lead to some serious anxiety and depression disorders in the future. Mistake number 3, parents minimize the child's emotions. It's not a big deal. Come on, don't get upset over nothing. When parents do that, they unintentionally teach child not to trust their own emotions. the child learns that what they feel is not important or is incorrect. They begin believing that others know better how they should feel, and they feel bad when they don't feel the way that others expect them to feel. Mistake number 4, using a threat to stop the child feel strong negative emotions. How many times have you heard, "Stop crying because nobody will want to play with you"? Or sometimes we hear at the store, "Stop crying because I'm just gonna leave you here." And of course, parents are just trying to help. When you ask a parent, "Were you really going to leave your child at the store?" Of course they're going to say, "No, no way. I was just saying that so my child will stop crying." But here is the problem. Children have innate feeling to feel secured and be able to trust us, to rely on us in those challenging moments. They see us as authority, as someone they can trust. And they take what we say, especially young children, literally and seriously. So what do you think happens when you say, "Stop crying, otherwise I will leave you at the store"? Your child believes it. We as adults know that it is not going to happen, but the child believes that the parent might do that. So on top of the feeling of overwhelmed and feeling upset and having those strong emotions, now they also feel fear. They are scared that their parent might leave them at the store. As a result, the child has even more emotions to deal with. So that's why we often see the child's meltdown getting even worse. And there are cases when threatening the child does work. We see that the child stops crying and the parent feels successful. "Oh, I helped my child to stop crying." But the fact is that, yes, they stopped crying, but the emotions didn't go away. They're still there. They left undealt with. All that the child did is they suppressed their emotions. Mistake number 5, distraction. Many parents use distraction as a way to help their children to deal with their strong emotions. "Look at the squirrel. Did you see that? Hey, come here. Look what I found." Some parents have become so good at distracting their child from experiencing negative emotions that they take pride in it. But the problem is that when we teach the child to distract themselves from experiencing emotions, we are not helping them, because we are not helping them to learn how to cope with that emotion. And that's what results in children growing into the adults who are looking for distraction with food, alcohol, drugs, video games, overworking, you name it. I'm sure that's not the future you want for your child. Neither do I. That's why I'm here to help you to avoid making those mistakes. Mistake number 6, ignoring. When we ignore the child's emotions and we wait until the meltdown has subsided, the child learns that we don't care about her emotions. And she learns that she cannot rely on us in the moments of adversity. And then when the child gets older, we are surprised. Why am I the last one to find out this? Why did she go to her boyfriend's mother? Or why did she go to ask for advice from her teenage peers and not to us? That is exactly why. Because we ourselves taught her that we don't care about her emotions. Do you understand now how unwittingly we harm our parent-child relationship by making those 6 mistakes? All right, we've covered a lot of ground in this video lesson. Let's do a quick review of what we've learned in this video lesson. We talked about the parenting success formula and how you can apply it to change your thoughts to get better results so that you could create the parent-child relationship you and your child deserve. We also looked at the 6 damaging for parent-child connection mistakes that you want really be aware of and begin noticing and stop doing if that's what you're doing in your parent-child relationship. Avoiding making those mistakes will help your parent-child relationship to thrive and will help you and your child to connect in even the most stressful situations. Now that you know all of this, you are ready to learn how to help your child to handle their emotions in a very healthy, helpful for them way, which I will talk about in the next video. Listening and learning is always fun and it seems productive, but you won't really change your results until you begin applying what you learn. That's why, knowing everything that you learned in this lesson, I want you to decide and write down in the comments below what is one thing that you are going to start or stop doing today to help the connection in your parent-child relationship become even stronger. There are so many families who want to build a fully connected parent-child relationship and who would greatly benefit from these videos. So please share with at least 3 people these videos and help them to get started with you on this path to a fully connected parent-child relationship. It's always so much more fun to have other people walking with you on the same path. And before you do that, right now, quickly go and leave your answer to my question. What is one thing that you learned today that you're going to start or stop doing to help your parent-child relationship to become even more fully connected? I will see you in my next video.